Hello there. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing today? A very, very beautiful morning to you and every single person listening to me now and those that will watch thereafter. You're wondering, there was no intro today, just came on. I'm so excited, and this is the intro. Wow. So it's World Gilbert's Day, but again, is my Prince Charming. Thank you, Auntie D. Absolutely. Thank you so much. And so today is still the International Women's Month. And we started off the month asking ourselves what exactly is International Women's Day all about, and went through the history. Then we talked about breaking the bias, and last week we were looking at the family. How do I as a wife break the barrier? And today we are taking it further. It's still the International Women's Month, and so today we're talking to the single moms. How do I break the bias as a single lady? Does it even apply to me at all? Should I bother myself about it? Or is there something I need to know? And so today, to join me in this conversation is a broadcast journalist with more than 2 decades of experience. She's a friend, she's a sister, she's been on this platform before. She's somebody who is bold to talk about the vulnerables nobody wants to talk about. She has a long desire to start her addiction training outfit, which she has started, and is the Reggae Panache Training Consult, where she trains people on broadcast presentation, public speaking, elocution, diction. Wow, I think I need to go to that school. I need to learn some things. She also anchors The Widow's Might on Unilag FM 103.1, a program she designed after her experience as a result of her husband's death. Her desire is to change the narrative and the stereotype about widowhood by challenging them to stand strong in spite of the such situation they have found at themselves. And she's so capable to talk to us this morning. I'm not going further. I just want to bring her on. Ladies and gentlemen, please receive to me on the Knocks2 Nugget platform, Regina Chris-Ogbodo. Hey, good to have you. So we're still talking about breaking the bias. And we talked about, I know it's International Women's Month, and it's break the bias. So yes, as a single mom, as a single lady, is there a bias to break? That's the first question. Is there really a bias to break? So, is there a bias? Is there a bias against the single women?
Oh, yes, there is. There are so many biases. That is an emphatic yes. A
Wow.
single mother, whether a widow, one that had maybe a divorcee, or the one that had a baby out of wedlock, there are biases that, of course, we're going to talk about. So many of them. But to answer you straight on, yes, there are biases.
Wow. Yes, there are biases against the single ladies. So, how do we break the? Maybe first thing is, can you in like 2 minutes talk about those biases, and then how do we break it?
Okay, the society boxes them. Number one, we are always, I want to say we are always boxed. There is this feeling that we are no longer within the pedestal that are seen as those that are capable. Everything you do, there is a question mark to it.
Mm,
Oh, because of single mother. Now, let me break it down. For the widow, the bias is this: there is no husband to support. So the feeling is that you cannot do anything on your own because the man is no longer there. So they have this stereotype, because I believe that a bias is just as good as saying a stereotype. They just believe that we cannot because of. We
mm,
cannot do because of. As a widow, I'm being told many times, I cannot take the, I mean, people will greet me and say, oh, not necessarily they are compassionate, but they are pitying me, seeing me
Mm,
like I cannot. Oh, because he is not there, I cannot take up the challenge and move the notch upwards. And so there is this bias and a mindset that there is incapability. We
mm,
become disabled, quote and unquote, just because the man left. And the
mm,
bias, unfortunately, also is actually within the mind of the even the widow herself. She has
mm.
biased, told herself, this is the stereotype, I believe it, and I will work in it. Now let's talk about the biases for the one that has had a child before marriage. Interestingly, I have experienced two levels of singlehood. I was
Mm,
a single mother, and so I know the bias. It was not funny. The stereotype is that you can never change. You're
hmm.
good for nothing. Oh, no good could come out of you. And so if you go with it, there is a tendency that you keep accepting that you are incapable of changing the narrative. You cannot be better off. And then the feeling is that, would you ever get a husband?
Wow.
Now, gone wrong. You've done the wrong thing. And so, morally speaking, you've gone wrong. And so, you cannot. And then the divorcee also has her own bias. The bias is that, oh, she must have been the one that made the, well, no wonder she was driven out of the house. The assumption is that it is always her that made the mistake, not
Mm,
minding if the bias is that you should have stayed there, even if your life was threatened. Oh, you should have stayed there. You should have managed it. You should have stayed there for the sake of your children. And my question is, if she dies, whose sake did she die for? So,
exactly.
so those are the biases that these categories of single mothers go through. They walk and they've been seen, they have been boxed up and been told somehow by the society, you cannot cross this. You are
Mm.
not the same as us. That's how the society sees us.
Wow. Wow. That's huge. And interestingly, you've gone through both sides, so you've experienced it. And thank you again and again for accepting to share your story and share your vulnerability with us.
Okay,
So,
ma'am.
question, how do we break this bias? To what extent can we break it? Is it possible? Is it even possible at all? Can we even break this bias? Or should we just live with it and just kiss Sarah, Sarah?
Never. You know, I'm a believer, I'm a Christian, unapologetically about that. If God did not deliver me, I would have
Hmm.
been here. I might not even have experienced the widowhood because I never would have married.
Hmm.
I would have continued the string of being a mother. Maybe have other children by any other man. Who knows? Or I would have decided to say, look, I'm going to give it back to the society. You hate me, I'm going to rub it off on top of your face to know that I could be worse. You know, but I knew that I met Jesus. So when I met Jesus, I took a personal decision. And I recall telling my daughter when she was 15, and I sat her down, I said, look, I've gone through the mines, the landmines, they've blown on my face. What that means is that you are now working on the playing ground. You can not repeat what I did. So you have the better chance on a better pedestal to start life. And today
Hmm.
I'm so grateful that she took that advice. And today she's a mother of two. She didn't have to go through that. So what that means is that you can first begin to change the narrative by changing your mindset,
Hmm.
telling yourself, God doesn't see me that way. It's the world that sees me so. I mean, I don't care what the world sees me. I have gotten to that point that nobody defines me by his or her words. I know the book and I understand what the book says. I know that all things have passed away. Behold, everything has become new. And now that is what every woman, single mother widowhood mother, divorcee mother, to understand. She must understand that nobody can change your narrative if you don't begin the journey by yourself. You have to
Mm.
start. When you begin the journey, the world will know that you're serious about it. And the world will understand that this woman has set another boundary that we cannot define her by. Now, that
Mm.
is what and that is what I have been building upon, because it's a building. You can't stop. Each day you find out what people think about you, and you do everything positively, whether directly or indirectly, to tell them that is not who I am. You don't need to, I tell people, I'm not here to impress anybody. I mean, I cannot even. Well, I don't, it's not a competition with the world. It's the competition with myself. Every day I want to better the me in me. And what do I
Mm.
want to? I know there are thousands, if not millions of people in my shoes. But are they doing what I want them to do, or what I perceive is the right thing? If I perceive is not right, I decide to change it first with me. So it always begins with me. You have
Mm.
to start off from you. When you do it, others will follow. Because
Mm.
every one of us, at some point in time of your life, you're a change agent. You are a change agent. What you decide to redefine becomes the tool you use in changing the narrative in the society. Whether you like it or not, you're always changing something or somebody out there. Your job is to look, focus, and stay within that which you know is your strength and keep moving. That's where I am. That's what I
Mm.
do today.
Mm. Wow. It starts with your mindset, and you just have got to change. You should understand that your mistakes do not define you. I
Mhm.
appreciate it. But then how do I deal with this? So I know who I am. I'm trying to walk bold. I'm trying to square up my shoulder. I'm trying to keep my head high. Then I get to the workplace, and people then begin to react to me. People then begin to look down on me. People then begin to, it's like it's a male dominated world. What are you talking about? How do I respond to it?
You know what? There is something that Big Daddy would tell me. When I mean Big Daddy, I mean Bishop Mike. Anything can come on
Mm.
you. Reaction. I'm paraphrasing him. Your reaction would determine the results that will come out later on. That's it. And that has always been one of my guiding lights. You throw out or you throw up lemons on me, I choose to make lemonade, or I decide to turn it a skin square. I could decide to use it something for something else. There are ideas that come with the lemon. It's no longer lemonade only. It's not about
Mm.
me. I could make it and other people could use it. So,
Mm.
you know, it's your transformation. It's the ability or your capability of changing others. There are lots of people that have a view, a world view of you cannot. They're not saying I cannot.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody they see around is that you cannot, just because they are there. Now, talking about the world, I mean, the male dominated society, it has always been there. I don't know when it began, but I know it didn't begin with the Bible. I have come to know that it didn't begin with the Bible. It's over time that the males dominated. So if anyone wants to tell me that is actually a cliche that is coming up, that we're being brainwashed, and I laugh because I know the scripture.
Mm.
Male and female created he them.
Mm.
He gave them dominion. So he didn't say he gave him. So what do? I hold on that as my anchor. A man wants to make me feel intimidated. I'm not about the strength. I tell him I have got something here. A woman must be knowledgeable,
Mm.
have enough information, and be so wise. wisdom, knowledge, and understanding will be part of the things that this generation of women must use as a tool to defend and to liberate themselves. I do not allow changes in the world take me unawares. I might not be so savvy or so techy, but I'm not unaware that there are changes that are ongoing. And so I make sure what a man can do in that regard, I do much more because I'm required to do more to be recognized and be accepted. I'm not
Mm.
about fighting you man to man because I enjoy being a woman. It's not a competition. I know I am a woman and I'm secure in myself. I tell my daughters, don't try to tell the men, try to tell the world. The men will hear. I need the world to know that I am a woman that has been blessed of God, that I have all the acumen that will require me to get to my next level. In fact, to become a world changer. So I sometimes I'm a little bit uncomfortable when I begin to hear feminism in the direction of a competition. I don't believe in that. We're not in a competition. The world will always be two people, male and female. But the whole idea is allow me my space. If you don't, I will collect it. Because
Mm-mm.
I mean, what I would I don't they won't give it to me. I collect it, I demand it. And when I come with that authority, because I have all it takes, you don't have a choice but to give it to me. You don't have a choice.
Wow, wow, wow. I hear you. And something you just said now, I had to write it. Don't try to tell the men. You tell the world, and the men will hear. I love that.
Exactly, ma'am.
But now you said something that is key. It starts with us. It's our
Exactly.
mindset. Most
Yes, ma'am.
of us women are actually not secure in ourselves.
Exactly. Yes.
How do we handle that?
One of the things I wonder, I've always asked this question, where did the competition start from? Where did the jealousy start from? The only reasonable answer I have, I say, is from the pit of hell. It was man made.
Mm.
The man distracted us, so to say, to make us look like we are inadequate. And so, because of that, we want to impress the other woman. Let me tell you, when we are together, the strength is enormous and the journey would definitely be far. The insecurity of a woman mostly comes from what she hears, what she's been told, and what she has accepted and have worked with over the time. You're told, look, is that how you're doing it? Is that how you're going to take care of your husband? I mean, I don't tell my children that. I don't. I have told myself I would never address my children based on marriage per se. I don't. Now, is that how you're going to take care of your children? I'm your husband. I mean, that's a giving. I should be able. I mean, I have it innate in me. So what is there that you're asking me? All I need to do is to have all it takes, the mental capability, the intellectual capability, and the spiritual capability. It's a natural thing for me to be a woman. And so if my daughter is put in place within these parameters, she should naturally be a good wife and be a good mother. So there is nothing like special. Is that how you're going to? I'm not supposed to take care of my husband. We are supposed to take care of our house, our home. And so that mentality, she's living without, how do I do it? Every day she's wishing she meets up with that, within, with that mindset of what if I succeed or I do not? But why don't you say that? Look, we've overrated success. We've
Mm.
really it. It's been so overrated that we don't even know that failure is part of life that should be allowed.
Mm.
Why would I tell myself every day, oh, I'm good, I'm this, I'm this? Hello? Why don't I tell her, I accept that I can be weak, but I know I'm not leaning on my weakness. We keep I love motivations, I love affirmations, but sometimes affirmation can come from the negative point. I'm a widow. I agree. It doesn't sound nice. Or whilst I remain a widow, not knowing what next will come, I would be the best widow. Does it sound nice? I don't think it sounds. But I tell myself this truth, that I know I have a weakness, but that weakness is actually strength on the flip side. Many women don't want to accept that they also have limitations. And so they become inferior. They begin to have this complex of inferiority. Why do you think you're not everything? God is so wise that he did not give everybody everything. We must also remember that at some point in our life, we will need somebody. So if we are always, for those of us that are so spiritual, we pray for destiny helpers, just like you're doing for me. And so what does that tell you on the flip? That there's helps that you need, that means you can't do everything. So why don't you accept that and begin to become confident within yourself? Although I have weaknesses, but I do have strength. So look out for where you can express your weaknesses and you are not judged. But then when your strength comes, you would be praised for that. A lot of us go to places that our weaknesses are so shown to us, and then we are not able to deal with it. And then when the strength comes for us to express, we are weakened. We feel inferior. We're not willing to show. I'm not fooled. I know I have weakness and I agree with it. So when I go, if I want to go to where I express my weakness, by the time I'm done expressing it, I would not be condemned. Rather, just like you mentioned, because you did that, I was vulnerable. I expressed my vulnerability. But instead of you to take advantage of it, you used nice words to tell me, and so I'm secure. I don't feel bad. I feel that was an event in my life. It's not my entire life. Most women are insecure because of all of these shenanigans, and we just find ourselves not accepting us. And every day we want to impress people that do not care to look on our side. I don't bother myself trying to impress people. And that's what I'm telling every single mother. Don't bother yourself impressing people. Express yourself, and the real people that would give you the applause would come up. I can
express yourself, and the real people that will strengthen you, that will be your vision helpers, will come. Wow. Hell, I wish we can go on and on and on. It's about 30 minutes. Wow. Okay. Let me take this last question. You said so much that if we sit back and watch this replay and chew, there's so much to chew on it. But one thing you have said, which dovetails into what we're talking about next week, is the fact that we need to prepare our daughters for life, not for marriage.
Exactly. That's it.
Marriage is just a part of life. It's not all there is, and God has to help us. We must hit it. Let me take your final words. Let me not ask any other question. We'll stay here. Let me take your final words on this to every single lady out there.
Mm-hmm. All right. You're enough. You, sister, you are enough. You are just enough. All the ingredient that was made to make you is enough. All you need as an endorsement, if at all, just remember, God endorsed you. He made you. Just become and reveal yourself, and He will honor you. That's all. Nothing more, nothing less. That's it.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I can go on and on talking. I just looked at my time and I saw 28 minutes. I'm like, wow, we've gone this far. But thank you for always keeping it real. Thank you for
Thank
always sharing your story. Thank you for allowing us into that space, into that world of yours. And thank you for always encouraging everybody out there. Thank you so much. And like I will
you.
always say, I'll be back.
All right. Thank you so much. God bless you, ma. Have a
Amen.
great rest,
Thank
ma.
you. Thank you. Wow. I mean, that was so much, so much, so much. You are enough as a single lady. You are enough. And like the birthday boy said, Regina is definitely coming back. And today is such a special day. I've tried to keep it in. I'm in all the shades of colors because it's celebration day. It's the world's Gilbert day. And on Knocks to Nuggets, we have a prayer for him. We're praying that the goodness and mercy of the Lord will be with you all your days. We're praying for irresistible favor all around you. We're praying that the Lord will lavish you with his blessings. We're praying that every single day you will bubble with testimonies. We're praying for you that you will exude grace unlimited. You'll be refreshed and rejuvenated all year round, and you remain thankful, testifying every single day. Happy birthday, Gilbert Ute. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for being you. And as I sign off today, I want to encourage everybody. Please join me next week, Monday. I have a sister and a friend in the house. She is a mother, and we're looking at what's the changing face of motherhood. The way I was raised is not the way I'm raising my children. It's not the way they are going to raise their children. Things are changing, and the only constant in life is change. So next week, Monday, I'm going to be having Fumi Onofowokon in the house, and I'm sure she will add value to you. And as I go off today, again, signing off with the birthday song, I want to thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you for liking the video, for sharing it, for passing your comments. And for those that will watch thereafter, thank you for giving me a share of your time. Never forget, if you can think it, you can be it, and you can have it. And together, we win. Say goodbye, I cannot